Welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot. I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to make a video that asks you the question about what's your thing. Now, what has compelled me to make this video, which was going to be a live stream, but the live stream was malfunctioning. So I'm not going to let bust a sweat over it, break a sweat, bust a sweat over it. I'm just going to come on this side of technology and make a video. Anyway, what has compelled me to ask the question about what's your thing is that I realize we're living in a time period in which a lot of people do not feel secure, physically secure, due to a lack of resources. Due to a lack of resources, people feel insecure and unstable and unsure. So, I personally believe that each of us should at least have one thing that is ours. And I'll explain. Rather than try to just talk over the subject, I'm going to read what I wrote down today. So I'm going to attempt not to improv as I move forward. Because when I improv, I really mess up. So let me begin to read. My question is, what's your thing? If life is not allotting you all that you feel like or know that you desire, want, and or need in order to be physically, emotionally, and mentally secure and stable in your life, then it's up to you to identify, provide, and sustain at least one thing that offers you a sense of satisfaction. No. One thing that pacifies you physically, emotionally, and mentally. Before you select one special thing, you must first know yourself, know your physical, emotional, and mental state. As clarity on these aspects of yourself will assist you in identifying the appropriate self-help tool or pacifier. Then, you should take into consideration at least one other fact. That fact is that we live in a realm in which all things are temporary. The standing rule of thumb is all things last for only a limited period of time. No thing is permanent. Based on that fact, you should be very careful in your selection about what you choose to pacify you. I'm reading, y'all. A pacifier should be uplifting physically, emotionally, and mentally. Some examples of great pacifiers are either the study or practice of physical fitness. Things like hiking and jogging, even walking. Next, culinary arts, cooking. And then there are the fine arts, music, performing arts. Excuse me. Then there's even like bird watching, metaphysics, reading and writing. And last but not least, singing. These are just a few examples of the physical, emotional, and mental stabilizers or pacifiers that exist. You must have something for yourself. You cannot deny yourself the opportunity to stabilize. To do so goes against the human condition that you are subjected to. When I say you are subjected to the human condition, I mean that you are carnal, wanton, lascivious, lecherous, and lustful by nature. And that nature cannot be satisfied or fulfilled. It can only be pacified. Therefore, choose wisely your pacifier. Because if you deny yourself, or if you choose incorrectly or carelessly, then you will suffer. Remember, your nature will never be fulfilled. So there are some things like drugs, alcohol, promiscuous sex, distorted expressions of love, the need for popularity and fame, and edibles and goodies, etc., etc. These are just some examples of pacifiers that should not be used, as such things, my paper's in reverse, have a short lifespan or period of indulgence, plus an intense summons back, or better yet, can lead to excessive, compulsive behavior or addictions. Now, as mentioned early on in this video, I had planned for this to be a live stream. So I would have been engaging others, which would have extended this video through me having conversation or dialogue with you ladies and gentlemen. And so I didn't finish the end. I didn't put a closing there. So now I do have to improv. What do I want you to take away from this video? Is that we human beings in this physical body are susceptible to the human condition. That means we have longings and wantings and urges and things like that. It is a part of us that we cannot deny nor reject. And since we know that about ourselves, we are responsible for finding the right outlets to use in order to express ourselves, as well as to pacify those urges and needs that we have. And as I was trying to state in my outline, is that your choice in a pacifier or a mood stabilizer is critical. There are people that seek escapism in the form of drugs and alcohol, sex, and different foods, and different things like that. And those type of pacifiers are tricky, as they have a negative kickback. And the negative kickback is increased urges and desires. And those increased urges and desires that you already deal with, again, are magnified. And so one becomes obsessive, compulsive, addicted, repetitive, in seeking to satisfy one's urge. I restate that because those are the type of things that you stay away from. Those are the type of things one should not choose to be their pacifier, because it plays into, those type of things play into, or are like a bottomless pit. They, or those type of things, are momentarily pacified, and they also increase the wanting. But things like physical fitness and expression through the arts, or bird watching, or studying metaphysics and other branches of knowledge, singing. Those things are, they're not a detriment. They don't have a summons back. Those type of pacifiers are, again, mood stabilizers, or they physically or emotionally and or mentally stabilize a person. And they don't have that summons back. Those type of things don't put a demand on you to do it again. That's what I'm saying. And so there is no commitment that you have to make, or it's no obsession you can acquire when dealing with such things. Those type of things, like physical fitness, singing, performing arts, the fine arts, dancing, are things that are more givers than takers. And so, with all that being said, I ask you once again in closing, what's your one thing that's just for you, that will uplift you and revitalize you and offer you a piece of, a bit of physical stability, a bit of emotional stability, and finally a bit of mental stability?